Hey everybody, welcome to the LMN Landscape YouTube channel. Caleb with LMN Landscape here. Miss Britt in the background doing something, looking busy. She's probably super busy. Who am I kidding? Hey, we're a landscape design build company southeast of Columbus, Ohio, based in beautiful Fairfield County, Ohio, as I have said a couple times and everybody gives me a hard time for. This video brought to you by LMN Landscape Management Network. Go LMN.com, www.golmn.com. I want to show you a few cool things we use with LMN. We're going to talk about cost recovery, overhead recovery, what else? Tracking your hours, profit and losses, and all that kind of stuff. I have an actual project here that I want to show you of what we did and the things that we use and we utilize LMN for. We put 90% of our estimates into LMN. Some jobs for real because they're just itty bitty and it's easier than running through LMN sometimes, just like a little half-day job or a day job, which we're trying to get away from. We're actually at the point where we're trying to not do any like small projects like that because logistics are so challenging. A small job like that takes still about the same amount of time logistically to set it up and all the customer interaction and all that crap as does a week-long project. So we're really trying to book up week-long projects and turn down some of the smaller stuff nowadays. But a lot of those jobs, I'll just do a quick pen and paper thing. Where I know what our daily minimum is, and I just say, hey, we're at a daily minimum of X, dollars now. What can we do to get the project to that level so it's a value for you, whatever. But I want to show you on this job and the things that's so cool about LMN. And we build an estimate in LMN, which there's tons of videos on that. You can check all that stuff out. But I want to show you... there are reports that we print out. And so once you build your estimate in LMN like that, your typical contract is going to look like this here. And I'm going to turn my screen back on there because it died. You get a contract going like this, which looks really good. It's your proposal. Get your verbiage in there the way you want it, which it's a basic, on this job too, it's kind of a small job, which 20 years ago, I'd never would have guessed an $8,000 job was little to us, but hallelujah. Basic thing, and then it says walkway as per plan. Ideally, by the way, that should say approximately as per plan. That way you get some, or you put a plus and minus installation of 3 foot wide plus or minus wide walkway, which that's a little too specific there. That actually should be that specific. I'm just talking in general if it's 9 cubic yards, approximately 9 cubic yards, or 9 cubic yards plus or minus. Things like that to give you a little bit of leeway for, estimating purposes. But we got that, and then all the way through here, so we also do a draw. Makes total sense that just fell. That was weird. Anyways, we also have in here a draw schedule, and so we have a scheduling deposit of $1,000, and then we break it down into draws for everything. Once the planting work is complete, once the sidewalk is poured and complete, the stairs and things. So we just break it down any way we want. That we get a check as soon as that, or a payment online or whatever. As soon as that phase of the job is completed, it's great for cash flow. The client is paying for what they received, and you're getting paid for what is performed. So you can craft that any way you want. Check your local, like California has some really screwy laws with that kind of stuff. So make sure you're doing it, legally by the book in your state. But you can set up your payment schedules there. You can even do payments through LMN now, so that's really cool. And then the contract verbiage that comes with LMN and your LMN subscription is insanely valuable. It's worth the first year of fees alone of what you would pay an attorney. Now, I'd still recommend you customize this to what works for you in your state, but and have an attorney look over it so it's agreeable. I used some crazy scissors to cut our address, and the address is off the bottom of it. But that contract is pretty solid. It's really good. So we write up an estimate. We write up a proposal like that. Bam, done. That's that. That gets emailed to the client. Sweet. Then we can print out things like a job planner, and that's going to give us a list of so much stuff. All the materials we plan on using on that job. So your guys can go through that and be like, okay, cool, we're going to need this, 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 and this. And ends out like that. And then also what we're having guys do when they complete the job, the project manager is going to go through, okay, yeah, we used 7 tons of stone. We actually used 0.5 instead of that. Delivery, yeah, we had 2 deliveries. That makes sense. 50 square feet of geotextile, yeah, that's right. Or they'll circle it if it's accurate, or they'll, okay, we use 3 bales of straw instead. And then our bookkeeper will go through and tabulate all those costs, and we'll do an actual P&L off of it through QuickBooks or another format, spreadsheet, whatever. So there's a million reports you can print out on this platform, which is super cool. So Job Planner is one that we do. Another one is estimated job costs, because it kind of gives you a budget to be watching for. So this one is going to give you all, okay, our estimated labor hours, 60. Our labor cost of what it's going to cost us in labor. Our equipment overhead cost, what it's going to, what our overhead, what we need to make on this job to pay for the equipment used on the job. Raw materials, and then your total material cost. Subs, all sorts of other stuff. Then it gives you what the job breakdown pricing is and what your estimated net profit is at the profit margin you set. And it's really amazing. So estimate totals, again, you can go through here. You could even do your P&L on this and say, okay, estimate, we had, what do we have? So then this is where we go when we go to do the labors. The guys sign into LMN Time, and we track that through their phones. They've got an app on their phone. They just sign into the project. And this job we did great on this job time-wise. We're at 83% of the estimated hours. We subbed out the concrete pour, and I estimated that to be about 12 man-hours. And so we're under, because of that, we're also under even the estimated pour time. So it helps us track all that. So, okay, cool. On the job, we actually had 49.52 man-hours. Cool. Okay, so 49.52 man-hours. And then times our labor rate that LMN is telling us, we then begin to build a profit and loss off of this real easily. And it's super cool, by what the guys did with this. And then it begins to tell you, okay, you can figure out your total revenue per hour. So we had 49 man-hours on that. And so, we divide 9,000 by 49, and we know what our revenue per man-hour is, which is super cool thing to know, which is a big budget item with LMN to be making sure you're hitting a certain amount of production or gross sales a week, providing you're hitting your net profit, that's all that matters right there. And true net profit is what is left after everyone and everything is paid. Everyone and everything is paid, including Britt and I sitting in here in the office, never having touched this job. We're still drawing a paycheck off this job, plus the company making a profit after that. So that's what true net profit is. It's not what you paid yourself. It's what is left after you paid yourself a salary, be it $50,000 a year, $100,000 a year, whatever. That's what true net profit is. So make sure you're running your company so you actually have a true company profit. So you get these estimated job costs, super cool. So it gives you that idea there. That's really awesome. Then you can get a job planner for man hours. And this one is simple because it's only one element. We combined everything on this one again because it was a smaller job at 49 man hours. But if you've got different phases of this job and you're anticipating, okay, planting, and this would be printed out, right? Planting was 17 man hours. You give that to your project manager and say, okay, planting guys, when you guys are planting, we're estimating 17 man hours, or, pretty much 2 guys all day. And then for, let's say demob, which is, clean up and finish up and get machinery off site, we've got 4 man hours. And what they do is the guys would check into this on their LMN Time app. Like, okay, we're on the planting work today. We check into that, and it's going to track. Okay, they had 16.4 man hours actual of 17. Cool, under budget, awesome. And it helps track all that stuff. It is super, super cool. So this job we did well on. We hit our man hour goal. Very, very readily, actually, which was cool, including a budget for what our concrete sub would have, took of that. So really happy with how that hit. So we're ambassadors for LMN. We paid for it and used it for, I think, almost a year prior to becoming ambassadors of the program, or VIPs as they call it, which I always laugh when I say that. It sounds funny, but we're LMN VIPs, So that's how we use LMN for this stuff, and it's super cool. You can, let me show you something here real quick. Here's all the different reports that you can print out, and I hope this is legible, but here's all the different reports you can print out of everything, all the different totals and planners and customer proposals, and so you can customize this whole program to how it works best for you. So that's really cool. Then I'll show you the actual project here that we did. This job was based off of, this was the portion we did here, was these steps. Actually, we had a change order. We had an add-on, which is these 3 path lights here. So that flat landing space there, the 3 steps up, and then that's the new concrete walkway we poured out, new mulch, and actually those 4 plants there were an add-on as well. So they're going to build a fence structure around that at some point to screen the trash cans. But just a handsome little space, really cool. We built that last summer, in 2020, and then we did this in 2021. It's just this spring, so really cool. So that's the job we did there. Just that, again, that walkway pretty much, and some mulch, and that big flagstone stepper. So that's why it's super important to be checking and tracking your numbers to make sure you're pricing these jobs right, and making sure you're a viable business. Britt, anything you want to add over there, honey bun?
No, I haven't listened to anything you said.
How could you not listen to me, honey? That's terrible. That's a real crime. So anyways, this video is brought to you by LMN. Again, we're LMN VIPs, but I highly recommend the program. If they kick us off this program, we'll go back to paying for it. Don't tell anybody there, but we do. We really believe in it. We use it. I use it every single day to track everything, and it's really awesome. So can't say enough about it. I've only talked to a couple people of 100 people that said it didn't change their business. It didn't revolutionize their business and how they track their costs, their profit, managing their profit margins and all that. And also too, just because, when you put all your information into LMN and it spits out like a 7 or a 5 or a 10 or 20% profit margin, that's not the profit margin you have to go with. You can bump that thing up to whatever you're confident in selling. So don't let it necessarily guide you off the industry standard. Put that sucker where you want that profit margin that is worth you getting out of bed for. So that's the big thing. So other than that, that's it. So lots of awesome stuff, but you got to track your costs. You got to track your man hours. That's a huge thing. The biggest thing is saying, okay, cool, you made $5,000 on a job. Awesome. Did you have 100 man hours on a job, 500 man hours on a job, or 50? And that will tell you, that's where you really begin to know if you made any money or not, is how much money per man hour are you making? Because making $5,000 sounds awesome, but if you had 100 man hours in it, it's not worth it, right? That's not like a great profit margin. So that's why tracking jobs just not based off like the chunk of money that's left at the end. You might find it's cheaper, or you're better off to work at McDonald's or something if once you really run the numbers of the hours put into it. And you got to consider all the things. The drive time to and from. You've got to consider shop time and load time. Jobs like this, again, when you want to have your guys meet on site. You want to have your guys not be paid to drive in a company truck if you can avoid it. Yeah, project manager or foreman grabs a truck, goes on site, but you want those guys meeting on site and having their time, their 40 hours a week productive on job sites, not sitting in a truck anytime you can avoid it. So that being said, that's that for this video. So thanks, LMN, and we'll catch you on the next one, folks. Take care. Thanks.